A new crypto wallet called Beam is now live. Unlike some other wallets, Beam users can send payments simply by using a link or a QR code. It was developed by fintech firm Eco. Joining us now is Andy Bromberg, CEO of the Eco app and contributor to the Eco protocol. Welcome to the show, Andy.
Thanks for having me.
All right. This wallet is being touted as a cash-like experience. Tell us what that means.
What that means to us is that it feels to transact as easy as cash. So the amazing thing about cash, right, is that if I have $5 in my hand, I can hand it to you and you immediately have $5. And we set out to answer the question, what would it look like to recreate that experience in a digital form where you could do that, but anywhere all over the world. And the way we did that is through these links. So when you have money, USDC or Eco in this Beam wallet, you can create a link that is totally non-custodial. We do not have access to your funds. Nobody else has access to your funds. You can text that link to a friend. They can open that link and they suddenly have cash in their Beam wallet. And that experience of someone not needing to download any app, not need to learn how to use any new software, not need to do anything other than simply tap a link, we think is as easy as picking up cash from someone else's hand and putting it in your own physical wallet.
So how do you look at when you see Fed now, the Fed coming out with instantaneous payments, instantly clearing, if you will, or, the different ways to phrase that. But how do you guys view that? And what are the differences that you're providing? And how would you address the competition from the largest central bank in the world?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of payment rail innovation happening right now in the United States and globally that's really, really interesting. But what Beam does is it operates on top of the Ethereum network and really on top of Optimism and Base when Base launches in 2 weeks from Coinbase, the L2 that Coinbase incubated. And what that means is that it's instantly available globally. And that's something that not every payment rail can offer. So anyone can transact with anyone all around the world via the Beam wallet. That's one huge differentiator. And the second is that the Beam wallet is actually a retail-focused wallet. It's meant to be usable for everyone. If you look back 15 years ago now at the Bitcoin white paper, the title of the Bitcoin white paper is Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And for me, the vision of crypto is and has always been to build a better cash system, a better payment system, better way to send money. And Bitcoin solved that in many ways. But what we have not yet seen is payments products that are actually usable by and used by the mainstream, the masses, everyone in the world able to use these products to get the benefits of crypto. Bitcoin created these ideas of, or implemented these ideas effectively of censorship resistance and decentralization and global interoperability. But what we have not seen yet from crypto payments products is them actually being easy to use for people. And that's what Beam is trying to do. So FedNow and RTP and all these payment rails, even the international ones, PIX and UPI in different countries, they're all really compelling. They're all going to have a place in the world. But I also think there needs to be a decentralized, permissionless, interoperable, totally global payment system for anyone to pay anyone else all around the world.
This idea of account abstraction really has been the talk of the town this year. Of course, ERC 4337 is what enables that. Can you just explain for our audience what that is and why account abstraction is important for achieving this mainstream adoption that you just spoke about?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a tough one to answer briefly. Just to take a step back, I think that if you look at the history of payments in crypto, I would say there's been a few big step changes. There's obviously the creation of Bitcoin, which was the biggest thing. And then we got the creation of Ethereum, which was this idea of programmable money in a much more broad way than Bitcoin enabled with its scripting language. And so that was a big innovation for how you could build payments on top of crypto. And then we saw stablecoins come out. And that's something that people really wanted, was paying in stable, fiat pegged currency. It's not the only answer. I think there's other much better ones in the long term, but that's one answer. And I think account abstraction, which came out this year or was implemented this year, is the next big step change there. And at a really basic level, what account abstraction means is that wallets that users own can now be controlled by code. So previously, users had to implement every transaction they wanted to implement. And their wallets that the users were using couldn't use code. You could interact with smart contracts that were external, that ran code, of course, on the Ethereum blockchain or on other blockchains. But your wallet itself couldn't run code. You had to do everything. And now with account abstraction, users can, through an interesting technical setup, have wallets that actually run code. What does that enable? All sorts of really interesting things. So I'll give you an example. Traditionally, if you were to send USDC, dollar-denominated stablecoin, or Eco, a new decentralized currency, or anything, you needed to have Ethereum in your wallet. You needed to have gas fees. right? And that's something that's always confused mainstream users is, I want to send this one currency. Why do I have to have this other currency in my wallet simply to send that first one? It's a little bit like having, saying to someone, hey, if you want to send dollars to someone, you have to have Venezuelan bolivars in your wallet as well to send that. And that just doesn't make sense to people. And that's something that had to be fixed. With account abstraction, this new thing called ERC 4337 that was implemented, what you can do now is have users' wallets run code that makes transactions much more complex. And an example of that is that, and this is something that the Beam wallet does, you can allow for gas sponsorship by another entity. And what that means is that if a user wants to send USDC, someone else can pay the Ethereum gas fee for that user's transaction, and the user can pay that person in USDC. And that can all happen programmatically. So in the Beam wallet, when you send USDC or ECO, you are paying fees in the currency that you are sending. And that's just something that makes sense. That's a necessary thing for payments to work globally for the mainstream use case, because otherwise people are too confused as to why they need yet another currency to send the currency that they want to send.
Andy, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you for that, and congratulations on the launch.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That was Andy Bromberg, CEO of the Eco app and contributor to the Eco protocol.